All right. Let's welcome. All right, to another episode. I am glad to see that some of y'all. Thank you for your patience as well. Um, for just hey, Chris, welcome. I'm glad you could make it. Come on, y'all. Let's let those notifications come on in. We are going to discuss some things because God revealed to me here recently as I was, and it's the funniest thing because I'm sitting here and I'm washing one of my frying pans, right? And so I wash the inside, then I turn it over around the back, and I'm washing the back side of it, and it just boom. And God reminded me. He said, "Well, you know about how the demon of complaining works, right? And how uh, brought back to my remembrance the Jezebel complaining about the step Jezebel. And I was like, oh my gosh, this would be another reason why they have to be dating and get married, or they have to be in some sort of a relationship. Okay, they have to be because they have got to complain about their partner. And yeah, shouldn't laugh though. I mean, I know it's not funny because it's pretty just mm, because yes, they do. Yep, they have to. Yeah, they want to complain. They got to have something to complain about, y'all. They're not happy. They're not thankful. Evildoers. They're it. You know that if they're complaining, then that just lets you know right off the bat that oh, and then turn around and claim to be a believer or a Christian, but yet go around complaining all the time. Oh my gosh, what? Really? That doesn't jive. So I'm going to take it that the volume is, the the audio must be all right because you can hear me just fine. Normally I go on over and check things out and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right. Because I don't want to break the habit because I know sometimes it takes a few minutes for y'all to make your way on over here. So I like to make sure that everything is on the up and good, on the up and up, it's just good to do that, to stay in that practice. Because I know some of y'all aren't able to make the streams, when we come on daily. Now, I will go ahead and give y'all a heads up. Next week, as far as it's going to be up in the air, so I will let y'all know if I'm not, and I'm looking at the possibility that let's see what would be the date. Let me get that for y'all. Okay, that it would be, well, maybe not. Okay, not next week, but maybe December 18th. That falls on a Monday. So the Monday motivational show for that day is we don't know. I will know more that day. Okay, because there's some things I've got to take care of. Uh, you know, uh, for compliance reason, I have to get some things switched over to the new location. So y'all can pretty much figure out what that is. So I've got to take care of that. And so I don't know. I really don't even remember the actual process. It's been so long. I mean, I know that you got to have insurance for this and this. Anyhow, I'm going to figure it out. And so I get all of that switched over and official. So let's go ahead and get my formalities out of the way. I thank you all for understanding for the algorithms. Okay, I gotta tell them, right? Yeah, I gotta tell the algorithms what is going on, right? All right, I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA Let's Just Chat show, streaming on the YouTube channel Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center. Trauma healing and spiritual growth occur here and at CHA Academy, btbw.com. The link to the Academy is in the video description below for quicker access. Some of y'all may need to copy and paste to view what CHA Academy offers to help you level up your trauma healing and spiritual growth. All right. So y'all going to get used to hearing that. Okay. God has us doing a thing. I learned how you have to do those plugins, and you've got to get them in there for the algorithm to go, oh, okay, so btbw.com, okay, CHA Academy. So it's got to kind of like, bring it to the forefront, because again, y'all don't know unless I tell you, right? There you go. All right. And anyhow, I thank you, fellow warrior. All right. Thank you for the 5P coaching course review, all of the reviews. I highly appreciate it. Thank you. Y'all, if you want to read what our fellow warrior, okay, Chris has left us some reviews. He's taken all the courses, and he's telling y'all, he's basically backing up what I've been telling y'all about the courses. All right. And you can hop on over. That link is in the video description below, because the reviews should be on the landing page now. So the first one you'll see is how the trauma bond is formed. And so you scroll down a little bit, you can read that review. And then if you click on all courses, then you can go and read the review for how to deal with toxic coworkers and the 5P coaching course. And it'll give y'all a better idea, that when I put those together, it was step by step, very intentional. And it's for you, right, to help you level up that trauma healing, know what's going on, right? And then for those of you who are being introduced to your purpose, and because let's face it, once God awakens us to, and from all of that, the abuse, it takes a while for us to figure out, okay, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Okay, why are we here? What are we supposed to be doing? And so we continue on that journey, right? It's a journey. We're on it together in the growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ. Glory be to God. And we are growing. That's right. Now, I know, listen, y'all, let's say a prayer. Let's all rebuke, okay, any stronghold that might be interfering with this YouTube channel growth. All right, let's rebuke in the name of Jesus. That's right. Return to sender. Anything, any hindrances, right? I'm going to ask God to remove them, to loose, right? Okay, because I know there's more spiritual warriors for Christ out here looking for this community where they have a voice and their voice matters. That's right. Chosen ones, you matter. Like, God didn't awaken you just to, okay. No, that's not how God works. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, again, thank you. So it's awesome to see that you all are making progress, whether you see it or not. God sees it, I see it. And so I do want to give everyone a round of applause. You all are coming a long way. You have come a long way. So this is another reason why we tell y'all don't give up. Gosh, no. The enemy wants people to give up and give in. You see, that's right. And so remember, what we focus on the most is what we're going to attract more of, right? Okay, so when you focus on trauma healing, you're going to get more healed. There you go. All right, everybody, now listen. Like I was saying at the beginning, I was washing my pan, little fry pan. I'm just talking to God. And I'm saying, okay, is there anything else to all of this that we have not yet covered? And we're talking about reasons why the evildoers feel that they need to marry or be dating all the time. We know they don't like to be alone, right? They got to have emotional supply. They got to have emotional supply, so they cannot and will not be alone. I have had some of those case studies admit to me that they are afraid of being alone, physically alone. And I'm like, well then. And then because I had one when I asked them, I was like, are you afraid to be alone physically? He tried to tell me no, but see, I knew better. Remember, narcissists mean the opposite of what they say, right? Because I had already figured out that before the female passed away, that he had already had his supply lined up. Y'all got to remember this. I don't care how old they get. They're going to try to line up supply somehow, some way. They're going to have it. Even if they're in the nursing home, they'll find supply. Even if it's temporary from one of the workers, they will. And yeah, they cannot not have emotional supply. They got to. And so they cannot be alone. They cannot be physically alone. Chosen one, we learn. For whoever needs this one, if you are still struggling with learning to be okay physically alone more often, keep going, because you're going to fall in love with it. Oh, yeah. And you're not ever spiritually alone. That's right. Better to move forward slow and steady than stand still. Keep on keeping on. That's right. Slow and steady. And I've heard some fellow warriors say that too. Another minister, my mentor in spirit, also has said that slow and steady, it wins the race. You know, right? Okay, well, there you go. You just don't. Exactly. I'm going to tell you, listen, chosen one, I know we are go-getters, right? We're like, yeah, we can get stuff done quick. We sure do. Once we set our mind to something. Well, see, that's the thing. I'm working on a project, okay, for our Patreon channel. And I feel like I need to have it done already. Yeah, I do. I feel like I need, but God's like, yeah, well, but you need pictures. And then you need to get pictures of that and that. So it is a process each and every day, because it's to help y'all. All right? And this is serving as a prerequisite to another project down the road, but we're going to go ahead and get y'all something. Okay, because, and it's going to be on the Patreon channel. I do not have plans to put it at this time. And in fact, it's likely going to be the way it's going to be, because God told me I have to reassess how much free time I'm giving away now. He told me I have to reassess it. So there you go. And it's not, we got bills to pay too. And I appreciate y'all who are supporting us in every way possible. Okay, truly appreciate you. Absolutely. And so I want to go ahead and make this announcement now. I don't know if you've seen it yet inside the CHA Academy community forum. Okay, we're going to get back to narcissist complaining. Yeah, but I got to get this announcement out. Okay, we now are starting CHA's trivia, CHA Academy's trivia. That's right, we have our own version of trivia. And the first question is, and it's going to be about a number of things. Okay, it can be anything from why narcissists do what they do, to one of the courses, to branching off of our fun fact videos. And by the way, Chris, I realized something inside there, because I used to go over to support students and click on discussion, and it was not pulling anything up for me. I had to go to the community and actually get the notification, all right, for your comment. So I believe I'm all caught up now. So I did not know that it, so now I'm going to have to, it's like, oh, okay, I just need to go ahead and go straight to the community every day when I log in. And then I'll be able to see over there the notification. Because I don't always get the email either. It is what it is. So thank you for your patience, because I saw where you had a comment from a month ago and then 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, okay, we don't want y'all. Yeah, no, you should not wait that long. I log in every day. It's just I thought that it would be, never mind. Now we know. All right, so thank you for your patience on me figuring that part out. But yeah, CHA Academy's trivia. And the first question is, why do narcissists tell us something happened to us that never happened, right? That actually happened to them and not to us. I'm paraphrasing here, but you get the gist of it, because that's what they do. So it's like, why do they tell us? Because God revealed it to me that that one told me something happened to me when I was, like too young. I would not even remember it happening. I was too young, right? That something happened to me that actually happened to them. Because as far as me and what they told me, it wasn't jiving or adding up anymore, because I was like, okay, so where's the evidence? Where are the documents? Because, when you go to have let's just say if you were going to get a regular checkup, I would need to know that. I would have to have those documents, right? If that actually happened to me. I never saw the document. I was never given the documents. So you see, God revealed to me that that's because it didn't happen. She made it up for me. It actually happened to her when she was a kid. So we want to know why narcissists will do that. And so I'm leaving it open floor right now. I have it's not the only answer. That's why this is like open, okay, because there's more than one answer, but I'm going to give the general, I guess you could say, foundational, right? Soon, but I'm gonna give everybody, soon, but I want to give everybody a chance to chime in, all right, and go from there. And now, I don't know if we're gonna do the trivia every week or just once a month. We're gonna start with this one and see where it goes, all right, just to have a little something extra. So now we have another piece of, I don't know if you want to say fun, but yeah, it is another piece of iron sharpening iron, because that's what we're doing, right? Learning from one another, as we should be. And so that's just another way to do it. So we've got that in the community forum. So if you become a member at CHA Academy or you enroll in the courses, you'll have access to that community forum and you can participate in CHA's Academy Trivia. All right, so we have that. And so let me go ahead and get to that we're not really alone. That's right. We are with ourselves and the Holy Spirit. Exactly. We're never really alone. We've got the Godhead with us wherever we go. And then we also have our fellow warriors in spirit wherever we go. Because listen, we do naturally, right? No matter where we go, you all are in our prayers, right? So you're with us in spirit also. We're never alone. It's not a trivia test. Let me clarify. Yeah, it's not a trivia test. It's just I know we're not. It's a game, right? But it's an educational game. So it has a purpose, but it's not a test. There's more than one answer to a lot of them that are going to come up, I'm sure. But just, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. And it's not a matter of being deserving. Okay, we are up here earning. Okay, we could earn. Right, that's basically what it's all about. And for those who would like to further support in any way, remember the PayPal is listed in the description below for quicker access as well for those who would like to pledge a service grant. And thank you to those who have, and thank you in advance to those who will. Okay, because it all goes right back in to keep these Academy going. That's right. Keep all of this content coming to you all. Okay, this is what it's all about: education and when God revealed these things. And so I remember a specific incident when the female Jezebel was doing the pan washing. That's what I was getting at. But I was sitting there, I was like washing. I was like, wait a minute, the back of the pan. Oh my gosh, that was one of the things that she would complain about often. Because if the male, okay, the step one to her, right, would do up the dishes, but didn't necessarily scrub the back of the pan very well, or if at all. And so I remember that I'm not sure what I was doing. I was in the kitchen, something, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I do remember standing there, and yep, she leaned over and started complaining about the fact that he never scrubbed the back of the pans. And I got to thinking, okay, I didn't say anything. I did not say anything, but I was like, okay. And then it wasn't just that, though. There were other little things about him that she would complain about. And I'm like, okay, hold on a second. How does this fit into this picture, right? You're claiming that you love this person, right? I mean, how does it doesn't make sense. You claim that you love this person. You marry this person. You claim you love them. But yet, everything you do and say contradicts that. Because if you truly loved, you would love everything about them. And that true love being the fact that, okay, so what if one partner is not all that skilled or great with washing the back of the pan? No big deal. It really isn't. So I know myself, I wouldn't say anything. I would just kind of be like, okay, well, that's just a little quirk. No biggie. And I'll go ahead and wash it, scrub it up. It's called teamwork, I thought. Because in my mind, and I know chosen one, we all have similar mindsets like this, but if you're going to be with someone, you're going to date them or marry them, especially get married to them, well, you become a team, right? You become a team. So where does complaining fit there? It doesn't. It doesn't. But because they have the demon of complaining, they got to feed it. They have to entertain it. And so I was like, wow. But yet, I turn around and just like eat up the love bombs, right? Because, yeah, I used to play some very childish games with teddy bears and stuff, whatever. That was their thing. And I was like, yo, how childish is that? All right. So, anywho, whatever. And I know some people, listen, do not fall for this. This is them trying to tug at your heartstrings, trying to make you feel sorry for the narcissist. Listen, if they're going to sit there and continue with their childish ways, that's what they're going to do. And some people are out here saying, well, it's because they never really got to live out their childhood, so now they get a chance to. I'm like, huh? What? No. That is not. No. So I'm like, not buying it. No, God's like, no, that's not what I mean by humble. That's not what God means by come to God as a child. That's not what he means. He's not being literal. He's talking about you come before God, humble yourself. Humble yourself before God. So, yes, Ernie. And there you go. That conflict conversation all the time in marriages. Yep, arguing and bad atmosphere. Oh my gosh. Yep. Do you know how God says that? And listen, God knows we got bills to pay. He knows we've got to promote. He knows that. Because that's how God's going to provide. As long as we keep getting up here and then we got to promote. And one of the most common things, this is not a secret, one of the most common things that a lot of couples argue about is what? Yeah, why else would you, think about it. It's like, if they're arguing over money, that should tell you a lot right there. If they are arguing over money, then they're a narcissist. Bottom line, there it is. Boom. Okay? Yeah, I'm gonna put it out there. If they are arguing and fighting over money, then they are a narcissist. Because only narcissists have the love of money, the root of all evil. Because, chosen one, I will tell you that even with the ex-narc that I dated and the one that I married, that was something I never argued with them about. I never allowed. We would have discussion, of course, because they would ask me, hey, especially the one that, had major anger issues. He always wanted something, like, he would have to come and ask me because I was the one handling the finances, right? Okay. And we're glad too, because we know something about narcissists. Woo! Okay. So yes, you will have discussion and what have you, but I would not ever argue about it with them. Because, it's in spirit. It's like, hey, it is what it is. You don't got to pay bills first and then see what, hey, it is what it is. And so there was no reason. So I never left an opening for them to argue with me about that. No, yeah, the ex-psycho roommate. Oh, and they'll complain about it too. That's the other thing. They complain about, oh man, this is double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, man. James 1:8, right here. We listen to the narcissist, right? They will complain about, and this is because of the Matrix, y'all. Remember that, on the world stage. Okay, that narcissistic matrix. Oh my gosh, yes, it loved to do this to people. And this is why we say, hey, turn that news off because it's fake anyway. All right, it's not even, never mind. Right, that's more about that on the Patreon channel and elsewhere. But just know that they will complain. They will complain about who is a so-called billionaire or millionaire, right? They will sit there and they will abuse, they will slander, they will gossip about, because the news does, right? So the news says, oh, so-and-so billionaire, blah, 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 and what they're doing, how they do it. And so it gets the ones who are trauma bonded to that. It gets them all riled up and goes, well, that's not fair. Really? Where I chose one, I don't know about y'all, but I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the ones who are considered millionaires and billionaires, and I'm kind of going, okay, now what can I tap into? The narcissism side of marketing. Like, how do you do that? How do we do that? Like, look. You're like, how can we do that? Gotta be a way. I mean, they started somewhere too, right? So I've been thinking a lot about that. Like, there's this restaurant up the road, and it was established in 1962. And it's now 2023. It's been in business all this time, and I'm like, okay, that's inspirational, right? There you go. So I'm like, all right, that's how chosen ones think. We're not listening to the negative talk about so-and-so and so-and-so. And I'm sitting here, and you know what's funny? You got to love cognitive dissonance in action, right? Yeah, they over here complaining about, let's just say the billionaires and millionaires, right? Okay. But then what do they turn around and do? Oh, I got to make a trip to Walmart. Oh, I'm going to order something on Amazon. Really? You're complaining about the CEOs of the company, but you're going to turn around and you're just going to help them stay a millionaire. No. Yeah, talk about CD in action right there. That's cognitive dissonance. They don't even realize they're doing it. I'm telling y'all, they don't even know they're doing that. I'll be sitting there going, yeah, okay, you complaining about that millionaire, but you can turn around and go ahead and go help them stay or become a billionaire for that matter. Well, they're complaining, never mind. And then, of course, complaining about what they don't have. Yeah, so silly. Yes, it is. Yep, they're the, oh, I saw that. See, yeah, they're the ones who, right, we all are. I mean, seriously? So, and you are right about that. Money arguments are the quickest way to a divorce. You know how the devil divide, right? Yeah, what is their secret? Yeah, what's the blueprint that we can follow? There you go. That's what I'm talking. I'm like, but I will tell you part of it is dedication. Absolutely. A big part of it is dedication. Dedication, determination. Yeah. I mean, and not only that, I have to tell you that if y'all haven't yet, we've got an Amazon author page. So you can always find that in the My Social page of the website. And that link is in the video description below. And so I highly encourage y'all, if you wouldn't mind, you know, if you're up to it, you know, if you would like to, you can follow us on the Amazon author page as well. I do know that I have some videos I put up on there, but they're only showing them, last time I checked, they're only showing those short videos to like 10 different countries. I don't know what the deal is with that. It don't matter. But we do have an Amazon author page. And so basically when you follow it, anything that we put out that's new or updated for that matter, okay, for example, like a second edition or third edition, what have you, because that's going to happen. Yeah. So for like the second book, yeah, there's a second edition coming because there's a whole lot more. And the 3 competing reality, oh yeah, there's a whole lot more since that was published that I've got to put together. And so right now, the digital copy is the only one available on the website, the first edition. And so I will also let y'all know, but if you follow the Amazon author page, when it is available there, then you'll get the notice as well. So it's a win-win. And we are doing an across the board update little by little. Okay. Just like you said, slow and steady. Because God says we ain't got to do things the way we used to anymore. Okay. So I highly appreciate it for all y'all who do that, to give our Amazon author page a follow. And then also for those who would like to give the Google business page a review, Consulting for Heightened Awareness, that link is in the video description below. Thank you to all who have and to all who will. So, right, having a good original idea and investing into the business. Yep, that's right. You know, that's the thing. Your original idea, yeah, this is why I said in the How to Create a Vision Board message this past Monday, yeah, very, very important that when God gives you an idea, see, that when he gave us the brain breaking the trauma bond to the world, yeah, you don't see that nowhere else. That's, yeah, inspired by Jesus. And then Consulting for Heightened Awareness. I haven't come across another one of those. That's from God. See, when God gives us these things, it's for us to serve and for his glory. Well, it's for his glory first and foremost, but it is just for us. You see, this is another reason why it's so very important. And I did not say a word to anybody when we came up with that. I didn't. I kept that between the Godhead and myself, obviously. And so we designed the original website. It is under construction once again. So if y'all haven't seen it, oh, that's right. If y'all have not seen it, we have updated the slideshow. Okay. We've updated the slideshow. When you first get to the homepage, okay. So we just basically fine tune and tweak, right? Bring things into better alignment. Okay, let me go ahead. Just bringing things into better alignment for everybody. And let me go ahead and find. Here we go. Right. Okay. When you pull it up, you will see, welcome to CHA. Brighter days await. Renewing the mind for transformation. Romans 12:2. You swipe over, it says trauma healing and spiritual growth. Truth seeking for clarity. Swipe over one more. Obtaining emotional regulation. The spiritual and physical balance. Then, again, let's unpack that bag from God. And the little bag there says talents and gifts from God. And then about everything you need is already in you. Okay, we have updated those with some new pictures and everything into more alignment with what we teach and preach, things like that. And so you will also find buttons on each one. And so learn more about CHA, right? And that takes you to the My Social page, all right? And then the second slide, if you will, there we go. Second slide takes you to the individual and group session page. Then the third one, obtaining emotional regulation, tips and insight, that takes you to our blog page. And then let's unpack that bag from God, also takes you to book a session page. Okay, so that's the thing that we've been doing, a little bit at a time. And so I thank y'all for your patience, but now we finally got that. Because God told me, he said, this go around with that, why would slow and steady? Take our time so that it will come into better alignment with our messaging. Not that what we had to start with, brighter days ahead, and then, hiking up and find that clarity. It's all the same thing. It means the same thing, but we're using the terminology that we use most often. Okay, because it really is all about getting to the other side of that rainbow, get that balance between the spiritual and the physical, that emotional regulation, overcoming trauma triggers, and then figuring out what it is that God put us here to do, right? To unpack that bag, right? Because it's all already in there. So there you go. All right. So I want to get that out there. And we know we don't have anything to complain about. Nope. No, I don't do the coding. Basically, I don't code HTML. It's a template, the website already designed. So basically, I just go into the admin, right? And I just go into the edit, and it's sectioned out for where those are located. And so all I have to do is just type in. We had to think about what we wanted to update it to, where it still says the same thing, but it reflects more of what we teach and preach most often, as far as the terminology and the words that we use for trauma healing and spiritual growth. So that way, and so for each section, I don't know if we're going to reduce and whatnot, but I do know that we are going to do some additional update and things like that. Just revamping. And the Lord told me that what we've got, we may change the photo every once in a while. I don't know. I think where it's at now, we're very happy with it. It fits. Those are my own photos that I have taken out about. photos are mine, right, that I've taken with my phone on walks and right out that one that for the unpack the bag one that I opened I looked out my window and I saw that beautiful pink in the sky. I said, oh my gosh, I've got to get some pictures of that. And so I just went outside and I got some pictures. Okay, so yeah, basically that's a good way to put it. What you see is what you get template. Yeah. It's very simple to navigate. I don't have to code anything. It's everything already set up for me. I just got to go and do the editing and stuff like that. So I thank y'all for your patience on that, but I want to let you know about that. All right. This is December of 2023. And so we finally got that situated. All right. So we are in the process of updating across the board. And because we are across multiple social platforms, Instagram is pretty much where it's at. We're getting back into our daily morning, depending on where you are, but our daily Bible verse drop, we're getting back to that. Okay. At least to have that. As far as when we live stream over there, right now it's hit or miss. Okay. It just depends. Because we still have this YouTube channel that we are also in the process of updating. Yep, he has us doing it a different way now. I was doing it playlist by playlist, but God said stop. So I need to do it this way. So we're doing that a different way. And it will take a while. I mean, 1,500 plus videos. That's going to take a little bit. And that's fine. And so the blog page is also undergoing construction. So you can see we've got quite a bit to stay busy with. And so y'all will see the update here and there, and then slowly but surely working out a way to get back over to Quora to get some more content there. As far as TikTok, that one's pretty much it. There's not really any revamping that has to be done there. It's just a matter of posting more regularly. And then Facebook, same thing. We might update some photos. That'd be about it right there. But I don't know what's going on with the Facebook business page. But when we were live streaming to Facebook business, the business page, the majority of the views I get are right here on YouTube. So we are taking a break from live streaming on the Facebook business page. Now, the Facebook personal profile, we stopped live streaming to because I realized that it was only streaming to so-called friends, and I want it to be public. I haven't figured out how to fix that yet. So again, if anybody has some tips for that, for the personal profile on Facebook, to get that setting when I go live, that it doesn't just limit it to, because I had to go back in for the replay and change that to public. So I'm like, okay, no complaining. Just we did what we did, but we caught that. And I said, well, then I'm going to stop live streaming because those 180 people, what? And I'm not accepting every single, listen, it's not about that. The world is about that. The world is looking at numbers. God don't care. God don't care about none of that. And so, yeah. Do you want to take a look at some of those Facebook help yourself pages? Talk about word salad. I don't have time for that. We don't have time for that. Oh man, talk about how some of these things out here, boy, they love to complicate things that are not complicated. So as you can see, I just want to give y'all that rundown on what we got going on and stuff like that. But yeah, we chosen ones have no reason to complain, right? Because when we hear them complaining, we automatically know that they are not thankful. Gosh almighty, think about it. Yeah, see, all right, this is why we put and more at the end of the let's just chat, or really every live stream and a good number of videos and more, because sometimes we just don't know where the Holy Spirit's going to take us. We just don't know. And I'm not even going to try and mess with customer service. on that end, because there's a lot of things I've come across there. I'm like, okay, so it's not way complicated. So I got to sort through some stuff. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out at some point. But for right now, the YouTube channel's just fine for live stream and things like that. So yeah, I want everybody to understand that when you see that in the title, we're talking about how narcissists complain about their, their partners and things like that. We're going to also have other things that come out in between. That's just how it is with consulting behavior awareness. We are Holy Spirit led. So when it is brought to my attention, or God reminds me I need to make this announcement, well, it's going to come out right then and there, and then we'll get back to the topic. Okay, that is how God works. No, it's not circular talk. Plenty of fellow warriors can attest to this, how we roll at Consulting for Behavior Awareness. I know that the world has a lot of people believing that if you come on in and we're not talking about narcissist complaining right at that particular moment, and then people go, oh, and they jump back out. Well, you know what? This community is not for them if that's what they're doing, because you cannot come in to a live stream that's been streaming for 46 minutes already, right? It's been streaming for 46 minutes, meaning that we talked, right, within the first half hour quite a bit about the narcissist and complaining. And so we start leaning over into the and more part. So yeah, that's the thing. The old saying, right? That you cannot come in to the end of a conversation and believe that you know what they're talking about. You see, because the world conditioned a lot of people into thinking that, oh, if we go into a live stream or we click on a video, and so the first 15 minutes or so, or whenever, you know what I'm saying? I know that they say that, oh, you should deliver on the promise of your title like right away. Okay, sure, that's fine, but it takes 5 to 10 minutes for people to get their notification that we're live to start with. So we learned it. So we're basing how we roll. Well, the Holy Spirit leads, but we realize, you know what? We need to give everybody a few minutes. Let everybody get patient, because we don't want them to miss those who want to attend and want to catch that message within the first half hour or so. We don't want them to miss that. So we give it a few minutes to let those notifications go out, and then we deliver a good bit of the message, if not all of it. And then wherever the conversation, this is called Let's Just Chat, right? Okay, so wherever the Holy Spirit goes. Right, so if anybody comes in, 40 plus minutes after we started the stream, and they don't hear me talking about narcissist complaining and duck back out because of, okay, whatever. Go back and catch the message on the replay, whatever. That's fine. That's right. We don't have to do our live streams exactly the same way as everybody else. That's right. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sitting on the phone for no 25 minutes to get somebody. We're not doing it. We learned that the ways of the world, right? Waste God's time, right? That's what they love to do. But the chosen ones are smart, so eventually we're going to figure it out. We'll figure something out. We always do, right? We work out that salvation with our Heavenly Father. Glory be to God. Absolutely. And so, yeah, I know also some people have Wi-Fi issues. We get that too. But I also know that there are those who just want to check in, right? And they want to see if I'm standing or sitting. And they also want to see if I am still in my own place. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and like I said, if they pop in almost an hour into the stream and don't hear us talking about narcissistic and complaining right at that particular moment, that's right, it's on them. That means that they are following the crowd with the whole, because this is the thing. Yeah, I'm just like, if you want to catch the message, it's usually given within the first half hour or so. And then we get back around to it when we start sharing insight in the chat, other things that we picked up on as God brings it back to our remembrance. But I also got to let y'all know what's going on with Consulting for Heightened Awareness. You are part of the ministry, right? Okay. You are a part of the community. You are a part of the ministry. It's like you're a congregation, right? So you got to know what's up. Got to know what we're doing for you all. And then not only that, so you can go and check out the updates and see for yourself. And so that's what it's all about. Absolutely. So other reasons why, well, the main reason that, like we talked about, that they got to have somebody around all the time. They need to feed that demon of complaining. And it's just really, it's like, really. And I also remember in a toxic workplace, I remember there was that one Jezebel. She did complain. All she did about anything and everything she could. And complain about other people too, right? That's exactly what they do. They'll complain about coworkers who they think are slacking on the job or whatever, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. They do that. And so she would do that. But there was another Jezebel who had management duties. Talked about the other Jezebel assistant manager rather, both of them. And so when the one was about to come in, the one that was on duty at the time during the day went to look at the schedule to see who was coming in for the next shift, right? And when she saw that it was the other Jezebel, that one said, oh, great. Now we're going to hear nothing but complain. And I'm like, okay, that's funny because you do the same thing. You see how they do that? How Jesus is clear about we got to pull that beam out of our own eye. That's right. And then they don't do that. We cannot be up here exposing their wicked ways without pulling the beam out of our own eye. Meaning learn, stop gossiping. Stop engaging in that. Stop doing that. Okay. Didn't realize, God said not to do that. Little thing. We have to do that with ourselves first before we can even get up here and give y'all red flags to watch out for. And things like that. And, the Spirit will tell you. The Spirit will always tell you. God will always tell you. Once we learn that, it's our intuition that we've got to pay attention. Okay? And so if you hear them complaining, that lets you know, okay. And I know it's like, okay, so there was a time where I'm like, then I would wonder, what they complained about. No, I don't care. Because it means that the narcissist that we dated or married, and then we realize, hold up a second. It might be a fleeting thought to wonder what is it they complained about when it came to us. But then we realize it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because we know that whatever they complained about was probably petty anyway. It usually is. It usually is something petty that they'll complain about. Something so small that not even like earlier sharing with you how that female one was complaining about her male not washing the back of the pan. And I'm like sitting here going, okay. See, that's the thing. That's what they do. They're looking for a fault or flaw. All right. And not only so they can complain about it, but also use it as ammunition to abuse. It's what they do. So if they pick out something they perceive as a fault, never forget. Reason for that. Think about it. I'm going to show y'all something. Because it ties right in line with how narcissists are obsessed with external cleanliness rather than internal cleanliness, right? No, create a clean heart in thee, right? That's from within. God tells us a lot. We teach this a lot because it's true. It's in God's word to look within. They got to go on the inside. Because what do we know about these pans, right? Well, let me pull one out. It was a frying pan, kind of. Yeah. Well, now this one came out coming out of the dishwasher, but that's fine. I'm gonna give y'all something to, a visual here. Let me give you a visual. Okay, that's the inside of the pan, right? That's the outside. So cleaning the inside, but on the outside, okay, on the outside, they had theirs was like aluminum. You could take a Brillo pad and scrub the grease and excess off. Well, apparently, you don't know that he didn't wash it. He just maybe didn't use the Brillo. So that just further confirms their obsession with external cleanliness rather than internal, because she didn't say nothing about the inside. She was focused on the fact that the outside didn't have a Brillo, right? He didn't get all the excess grease and stuff off, right? The dry, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? The dries on there. Just because he didn't do that, she's complaining about it because she's obsessed with external cleanliness. Let that sink in. Because that's exactly what's going on there. Wow. Thank you, Jesus, for helping them connect that dot. Because like I said, it just further confirms. But yeah, when the bottom of the pan can kind of get a little blackish, yeah, that too. Right, no, don't use a Brillo on the inside with the nonstick. No, don't do that. But if it is aluminum, if it's not, I'm not going to use it on red, no. But if it was silver, and you could, that's what theirs was. It was silver. So, like on the outside, it was silver. So you could use a scrubby pad on it. So, and yeah, always. Do they do anything but? It is rather amazing. But yeah, they do a lot of complaining. And this is the other reason why I've said in previous videos that if you recognize a Jezebel and they come to visit, you happen to be in that environment for whatever reason, yeah, you could find some way to, I don't know, take a business trip or something. Because, it's like once you realize that what's going to happen is that they're going to sit around, and because they're trauma bonded to the P matrix, right? They're trauma bonded. They don't realize that's the dog and pony show on the world stage. They don't realize that, yeah, they're being lied to, that they're being played and tricked into playing themselves. They don't even know that. So they're watching this stuff, same old, over and over again. Same thing, same stuff, gossiping, complaining, right? What goes on? Right, there was a particular show that comes on at like 5 p.m. Eastern time that, yeah, I admit I used to watch it before I realized, oh, hold on a second. That's narcissistic abuse on the societal level. We had to knock that off. That's out of our own eye. And we realized, hold up, we got to stop. That's part of the game. We quit playing. We walked away from the P matrix. We're done. Because it is just the same old, and it's only being used to keep people divided, keep them as puppets on a string. It's all they know. It's all that low vibration stuff. But they are idolizing the talking heads who happen to be narcs themselves. And and they think that, and they don't realize that a lot of that's not real. It's not real. Most of it's not real. Green screen, blue screen, Project Bluebeam. Leaving it there. You can research that. It's out there. Not a secret. It's actually part of the Dog and Pony show on the world stage. Yeah. Did you know that going down the rabbit hole is part of the script? Oh, right. Now you do. Okay. Okay. The dog, Oh, you're talking about that. Oh, the Married with Children show. I remember that comedy show. Oh, yeah, I remember it. Uh-huh. Yeah, never mind. But you yeah, that's a really good. Thank you for that. Thank you for that reminder, because yeah, like how stupid that show really is, but it was so stupid it's funny. It really. But when you stop to think about it, there are actually narcissists out here that behave that way. I know. Anywho, I wonder if that's where they get it from. Could be. Anyhow, we'll leave that there. I'm just remembering the moment from that. Yeah. Right. Oh my goodness. But yeah, there are some narcissists. That was a lot of it on display right there. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, no, we're not. This is not celebrity gossip, y'all. This is just God brought that to His remembrance for a reason, and I think it's to help us. Oh, we can't help but laugh at it. Very childish behaviors being played out in adults. Think about it. Well, we've got toddlers in adult bodies out here. They'll do the same thing. You cannot help but laugh. And so, right, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a shoe salesman. No, that's not what we're laughing about. But it's just the character that they played represents narc characters that we've run into in our lives. But yes, oh, and a lot of complaining that went on in that show there too. Go figure, right? But yeah, when you come across somebody that's doing that, the best thing to do, y'all, when we come across, like, say, there's got to be at least two, right? That'll be in conversation with each other. And if they're back and forth complaining about this, complaining about that, we learn to walk away, because that lets us know that they're not grateful. And yeah, because there's a difference, y'all, between pointing something out and complaining. Okay, there's a huge difference. Because chosen one, we point out something. Let's say, okay, I don't know, best example that I can think of at this particular moment would be my stapler, right? We point out something, we go, oh the stapler is out of staples. So we go to our supply and we get some staples and we fill it back up. But a narcissist, they hear us say, oh, the stapler is out of staples. Why are you complaining about that? We're not. See, that's what they think. They interpret those things, statements of observation. We just make an oh, hey, it's out of staples. So we know to go and get the box that's in the office area. Let's say I have a drawer in this little caddy here, and the top drawer happened to hold some office supplies. The staples happen to be in there. So if I see that the stapler is empty, I make that statement. If there's a narcissist around, they're going to think I'm complaining that the stapler is out of staples when I'm not. I just know I need to go over to that drawer, grab some staples, and fill it back up. Problem solved. But they would think that that's complaining, but it's not. A huge difference. The way that a narcissist would approach that. Here we go. This is the complaining. they would go and use the stapler, right? And no staple will come out. They would sit there and they go, why are there no staples coming out here? You might want to check and see if there's actually staples in there. Oh, and so they'll open it and there's, I can't believe somebody didn't put staples back in this stapler. That's a narcissist. That's how they would approach it. Well, chosen one, we're like, oh, the stapler's out of staples. We know we need to go get some staples. Just put it in there. Doesn't matter who used it before and it, well, I would tell y'all something. Somebody used it before us, right? Let's say it's in the workplace. They used it before us and they only needed one staple, right? They only had one thing to staple. Okay, so there was a staple left in there for that. Well, okay. They don't necessarily know that they just used the last staple. Are we the one? Are we going to check every time we staple something? Staple still in there? Okay, no. Staple still in there? No, we're not. But the narcissist will complain about that. Like, they can't believe whoever used it before didn't put staples in it, as if we're going to check that every single time we use the stapler. We're not. We're going to wait till we go to staple it and no staples come out, then we're going to check. But see, a narcissist won't approach it like that. They will approach it with aggressiveness. I just demonstrated it for you. The only reason that we are able to do that, to let y'all know and give you an example of how a narcissist would approach that, is because we've seen that happen throughout our lives. We've seen how they approach certain things like that. It's the only reason we're able to give you those examples. We've witnessed it enough times in our lives that we can give you some pretty daggone spot-on examples. Now, we're not able to do some of the micro expressions, though, like the evil smirk. Chosen one can't do it. I've tried. I looked in the mirror and I tried. It doesn't work. All right, we don't have that in us. But as far as certain behaviors like that, how they will approach a situation as such, yes, we can demonstrate how a narcissist would do that because we've seen them behave like that over and over again. So there you go. Yes. The fact that you have to spell that out to, oh, I know, right? The fact that you even have to tell them, right? Well, do you check and see if there's staples in there? I mean, it's because they lack impulse control. So when they approach a situation as such, they're not even thinking clearly to start with, right? Oh, yeah, no, they're not thinking clearly to start with. So they're going to already have this pent up. You remember, a lot of them have the demon of anger. So they're going to have this pent up hostility anyhow, right? They're going to have that. So because they have that entitlement mindset, they expect when they go to use the stapler that there ought to be staples in it. That's their mindset. There better be staples in it when a narc needs to use that stapler. And when there's not, instead of and, it's so when there's no staples in it, it gives them the opportunity to what? Right, to express that hostility and to complain that there's no staples in it. Because in their mind, there should have been staples in there for the narc. That's that entitlement mindset that they have. Oh, yeah. So, oh, gosh, big time. But, yeah, and the fact that we've got to spell stuff out for them that just clear logic, I know, it is what it is. And they're like that. And then, yes, because of their laziness. There you go. Yep. Yeah. The narcissists don't want to go to the cupboard and get some staples and put staples in the stapler. They don't want to do that. That kind of work is beneath the narc in their mind. They think that's not my duty. That's how the narc thinks. They think that doing such a duty is beneath them. Or going and filling up the printer paper when the printer runs out of paper. They think that little tasks like that are so mundane that those kind of tasks are beneath them. That's how that's their mindset. Exactly. Sensing a memory of a stable situation at work. No. No. Not that I can recall. It's just my stapler's standing right there and it's sitting right there. Or standing, whatever. It is sitting right there. And so it just gave me the idea, because you know how they would approach as far as I do recall printer incidences, printer toner, ink, something, maybe. I do recall other things, but as far as an actual the stapler thing, no. It's just we know how they would respond. We know how they would approach that situation because we've seen them behave similarly in other situations. Plus, once we get well versed on how they think, all right, so we can better understand, right, what's going on inside their mind. Like the mechanics, right? So once we understand that, not that we care what they think, no, it just gives us the heads up that we know, because they're so predictable, that is how they're going to approach the situation as such. And so, yeah, you can pretty much, use that discernment too, age. But if they're a grown adult and they're doing that, you kind of have to go, really? Okay. But yeah. All right. So, photocopier. I'm wanting to say I've got some kind of memory for that, but I don't recall the exact incident. And I don't think it wasn't very long. It had to be very brief, but it was very minor too. It wasn't with any kind of pent up hostility, I can tell you that. But it was definitely a narc incident, I can tell you. Not surprising. But the thing is that they will find ways to complain because there really is nothing to complain about. There really isn't. When you get in God's reality and you're in the spiritual awakening and you start to realize that there's no need to complain. And not only that, we've learned. For those who haven't, here you go. Complaining does not solve anything. Complaining doesn't get you anywhere. Complaining just feeds that low vibration inside the matrix. Complaining simply is just, it's the opposite of what God tells us. We are to be thankful. How are you going to be thankful and continue to complain? This is why we learn, don't focus on the lack. There is no lack in the kingdom of God. Boy, I tell you, my vision board proves that. And it just continues to grow. I had to put 2 more pieces of paper up. Yep. And of course, some of those are reminders as well. But I can see it now. I'm going to be expanding all the way to the door. Nah. Oh my goodness. But yeah. Just like the CHA Academy trivia. Now, originally I thought narc trivia, but no, God said, no, because you got a lot that you can do with that. So that vision is now put into fruition. Things like that. So we're going to bring y'all stuff. And all kinds of stuff. There is no lack. Creativity up there, y'all. When those juices get going, oh yeah. Yep, and God sees you putting the stuff into action. Of course, He is going to take care of the rest. And so, what do we know about human nature, right? Let's touch on social influence in regards to complaining, shall we? Okay, because here's the thing. It's one of the many things I learned in the course that I had to take, all right, regarding social psychology. Yes, it is from the current doctorate journey. I finished all my coursework. We are awaiting feedback for the revised proposal, you all. December 2023. Stay with me. All right. So we are just awaiting that. God already said it's approved. So we're just waiting patiently as we continue to work on other things. So now I remember learning about that. Social influence. Because, God said not to emulate, right? Now, what did God mean by that? Okay, emulate means to copy. It doesn't mean that we don't tap into good ideas. It just means that, like Chris said, as far as how we do our live stream, we don't have to do them the exact same way everybody else does. No, but we tap into utilizing certain techniques that other networks and other content creators, we pick, fine-tune, and tweak to make it work for us. Good example is when I do the formalities. I am. And then talk about the academy. That's the plug-in. Okay? So, right, and then we do plugins throughout. That's the technique that we're tapping into that others do. But we have something different to plug in. Right? Our content is different in many ways. We may come out with similar messages, but we speak them differently. It's like we're saying the same thing, but we just say them differently. Like my mentor in spirit says a lot of stuff that I say, but she says it differently. But we know we're on the same page because it's the same message. It just depends on how it's going to. Actually, the better way to say that, it's who it's going to resonate with. You see, God gave us our purpose, okay, the brand and the ministry, and the Holy Spirit speaks through us, knowing who is going to resonate with how God has us delivering the messages. Same thing for others who are out here ministering. It's how they, right, how the Holy Spirit moves through them as to who that messaging type is going to resonate with. And now sometimes both of us will resonate with the same person because that person who is at our, coming up to or close to our spiritual level is going to understand that we're saying the same thing, just differently. So that happens too. Absolutely. So social influence is very, very strong. This is why God tells us, we've got to be careful. I'm paraphrasing here, but yeah, you've got to watch whom we associate with, right? We have to watch whom we associate with because lest we become like them. Social influence is that strong. That's another reason why it's not an excuse, but it is a big part of basic scientific fact here that when we were in a particular environment, this is something that God revealed to me. Okay, so let me help y'all put it in perspective. That even though you're in an environment, we're in an environment, let's say, for example, the previous one I was in, I've always been a person who likes to stand. I've never been one that likes to sit for long periods of time. I can, but I don't like to. It's not my favorite thing. Now, if I've got to sit for a 30-minute interview, fine. It's one thing or whatever. But I also know that because of that, because I am a public speaker, right? Never forget, I am a faith-based public speaker for hire. What do you see public speakers do? Exactly. But they don't necessarily stand in one spot the entire time. No, they move around. So that's what we do. Public speakers, we don't, right, we're not, and if there's a chair there, we might take a break and sit for a few seconds or a minute. But then we're back up and walking again because we are speaking to the audience, just like I'm speaking to y'all. Except the difference is I'm on video, virtual, versus being in person. So there you go. Now, I am a faith-based motivational public speaker for hire. So there you go. It is what it is. So now I know why I've always had a preference for standing. God revealed that to me. But social influence is very strong. So what happened was, even though that's always been who I am, part of what we do, well, got a little bit complacent in the last environment. Even though while I went to my room and I went to the computer and I was standing in my room doing what got to do, work and stuff like that, right? Well, if I went out to the living room, sit in the recliner, then I would pack that bag and go sit in my car for several hours to do some work and live stream, things like that. So over time, right, because the one that were in that atmosphere did a lot of sitting. I didn't even realize that it was that kind of habit, or behavioral pattern, or what have you, was rubbing off on me. I didn't even realize it. Not that I was doing it on purpose, but I didn't realize that, I did not engage in the same behaviors that they did. Once I started to realize that they were, on Team Devil, I said, hold up a second. Okay, so we're aware of that. And so we didn't allow ourselves to get drawn into, and we certainly did not allow ourselves to get triangulated. We did not, all of that, no. Okay. But it's just the unspoken behaviors that I started to not emulate like that. It was not intentional, but it did rub off on me because that's what they did. A lot of sitting, watching TV, playing games on the devices, a lot of sitting. And so that's what, over time, right, even though I would still do a good majority of standing while working and things like that from my bedroom at the time, I also sat more often than I had for many years. So you see, I did a social influence. So the same concept applies to when you are hanging around or you find yourself in an environment where there's a couple of people, at least two, that are complaining. It really only takes one, but typically it's going to be two or more, because one person complaining, we're not necessarily gonna, like when she would complain about him not cleaning the back of the pan, I never said anything. I was like, oh, okay. So one, just like one demon spirit by itself isn't gonna have much of an effect. So it's got to be two or more standing there complaining about something. And so typically it's going to be three. Okay? And then so if you're standing there and you're actually continuing to listen, right? Remember the subliminal thing, right? For the subconscious mind, spiritual battle for the mind. So it can be really easy when you're around them. It can be really easy to, you know what? Yeah. And then you start chiming in. Yes. Beam out of thy own eye. Been there. Yes. Subconsciously, you pick these things up, like I just described, and rubbing off on you. Exactly. That's why God says, lest you become like them. because that social influence is that strong, especially when you have a small group and they're all doing it, right? Well, what is the thing that we know not to do now, right? Right, don't follow the crowd. But see, if we are hanging around, and over time, that spiritual energy and motion, right, as they're talking, yeah, it's all negative and things like that, right? And so you feel like you want to be part of the conversation. So it's going to rub off on you. It did for many of us until God awakened us. But many of us also started to catch on with that because we started to realize in life, as we started to grow up and mature and things like that, that there really isn't any reason to complain. Many of us did. Okay, we realized that there really was no reason because chosen one will go off right by ourselves physically. Yeah, we're all right with that. And we would not be engaging in any complaining or anything negative, right? Because we realize there's not any reason to. So, right, we learn, okay, if we happen to pick up on that, we've got to from such turn away. Right? Okay. So there, it's just, that's the way it is. So this is why it's so important to get control of ourselves, be able to, get control of ourselves. That's all we can do. And manage that empathy. I don't have it because the empathy, remember, if your empathy is still wide open, you get tricked into joining in the complaining conversation. And it's really not a conversation when you think about it. Take a moment and think about that. If they're just complaining about stuff, right, it's usually going to be exactly. They're complaining over things that don't exist a lot of time. They're complaining about things that are illusion. They're complaining about things that may have a solution. Well, actually, no, they do. There is a solution for everything. But when it comes to narcissists, right, and the matrix, they don't want anything fixed. They don't want anything fixed. Think about this. Because let's say you put in let's see if I can come up with a good example of how narcissism works in this way. Because the world wants everything to be perfect, right? Can't be anything wrong. Okay? And so you're given a checklist. You go and you check everything out, right? And you notice there may be a couple of things that I found out later, by the way, are working just fine. I had to tap the light bulbs. Because you just kind of let them know there might be a couple of light bulbs out. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. Because they'll do the whole work order thing, but they don't really want to mess with it, right? I'm just using this as an example because they want the enemy. I'm not saying that they're the enemy. No, I'm just saying that would be one way that if I didn't figure out that they were just loose, and so I tapped them back into place. They worked just fine. And so if that hadn't happened, let's say they really were out, I have to go and ask about it, right? I have to go constantly, right? A narcissist would eventually start complaining about that. You see? So that's how the system of narcissism operates. And so because I haven't needed to go and inquire about that or follow up with it, it's no big deal. And they know that. No big deal. We figured it out. They would just lose. So there's that. All good. And then, of course, like with the occasional, because when it gets colder outside, might have a little visitor, right? A little visitor that goes flat once in a while. But other than that, I said, I'm not going to go and no, because there's no reason to. I clean that stuff up every single day. I dust. In fact, we did a huge thing as we were rearranging, and so I was making sure as I was rearranging, I had my little duster and stuff like that. So yeah, chosen ones are not messy. All right, chosen ones are not messy. That's something that I've learned since being here with just the Godhead and I, and realizing that, okay, because I was trying to remember, like, wait a minute, I was like, okay, so ever since I've been here, and not messy at all. Very quick to, we're not messy. In other words, when we eat, now mind you, it depends on what it is. There's some things I'll make myself a juicy burger or whatever. And so, yes, I do need to eat over the plate because it's going to drip when you put tomato on there, right? Okay, so that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that, right, we know to eat it over the plate, so we're not going to get it all over the floor. Okay, well, see, that's the difference between chosen one and narcissists. Narcissists are extremely messy. They are, just like toddlers. Absolutely. I mean, they are toddlers in adult bodies. And so they're extremely messy. Chosen ones are not. So that's something that God revealed to me. So that's your inspo for whoever, but you're not be able to see that about yourself if you're still in a toxic environment, right? It's just not going to. There's a lot of things about us that we're not going to notice, okay? There's a lot of things about ourselves that we're not going to notice right away if we're still in a toxic environment. That was definitely one of them that I did not notice until being here and over a length of time realizing that chosen ones are not. I'm like, wow, we're not messy. There you go. Well, that is one of the tips, right, Chris, for how to deal with toxic coworkers. Is to keep conversation minimal, if possible, and as much as possible work related only. That's one of the steps, one of the tips that you'll find in that course with some additional information. All right, everybody. So we have hit the hour and a half, well, a little bit past hour and a half mark. So really, we've given you the message. I've given y'all some updates for those who have chimed in later on. I highly encourage you. We'll catch more of the messages on the replay and go from there. And I give y'all an update, let y'all know what's going on with Consulting for Heightened Awareness, the website, and things like that. So we've got some things that are under construction. Okay, so thank you for your patience on that. And there you go. All right, you all courses, and we've got more stuff coming to CHA Academy. So don't forget that. We have a lot more to bring you all at CHA Academy. We are a growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ. That's right. And y'all, seriously, that's that. Any questions? Don't hesitate to reach out. If you catch this on the replay and you leave those in the comments, I will get to those as soon as possible. As always, I have to learn myself, about how certain things work, depending on the platform. So we are all learning how these platforms work, because some of them are different, some have similarities. So it is what it is. We are on this journey together in God's reality, learning together, iron sharpening iron. I am Michelle Dickey, your host. Yes, for CHA's Let's Just Chat show, streaming on the YouTube channel, Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center. Trauma healing and spiritual growth occur here and at CHA Academy, btbw.com. Yes, CHA Academy, btbw.com. The link to the Academy is in the video description below for quicker access. Some of you all may need to copy and paste the link to view what CHA Academy offers to help you level up your trauma healing and spiritual growth. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father. And you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.